Okay, but with all this happening in your head, you also booked a vacation together, right?
So we did book a trip to Greece together to meet his parents there. Hi, everyone. You're listening to The Modern Bay Woman. I'm Cathy.
And I'm Jackie, and this is the podcast where career driven, wellness minded Bay Area women come together to
Share their thoughts and feelings
laugh through dating stories.
and find community in this journey we call life.
Welcome to episode 5. In the previous episode, Kath and I talked about choosing someone to date exclusively, going on a trip together, and when the right time is to say I love you. So if you want to know more about Kathy's decision to go exclusive, our first I love you stories, and traveling with your partner, listen to episode 4, Becoming Exclusive and Saying I Love You.
In this episode, we're going to talk about the first time you get into a fight with your partner and how to navigate through that emotional roller coaster.
I feel like this is going to be brutal. So, Kathy, tell us what happened.
So, white boy number 2 and I keep fighting about little dumb shit recently, and I wonder if it points to bigger problems.
You guys are just getting to know each other better, so I'm confused, but interested in hearing what there is even to fight about. It sounds like there is an issue or a misunderstanding that's really bothering you, though, so you're actually hung up on it.
So, we fought about him working while we were together. I explicitly told him that our time together should be focused on us, but he spent Sunday morning working while I cooked us breakfast and cleaned.
Okay, but sometimes needing to work on the weekend's normal, right? Tell me what happened. Like, paint the picture for us.
So, I understand needing to work on the weekend sometimes. I mean, I do it. All I'm saying is, if the expectation is to spend the entire weekend together, let's talk about carving out some time to do work versus just doing it without any communication to your partner. And he did apologize and said he misunderstood and thought I said it was okay to work that morning. I guess I wasn't being clear, so that's on me.
Okay, was there anything else that came from that conversation?
Yeah, he told me he needs alone time to decompress and just do stuff himself, whether that's playing video games, working his 9 to 5, or working on his side hustle. Like, if we only saw each other once a week, then of course, those few hours we were together should be 100% focused on each other. But if we are together most of the week, then he needs time to do his own thing.
Okay, so what did you think about that?
Those are completely valid points, and I totally agree. It's all about having clear communication.
Okay, and I'm hearing you say a few things. The first is y'all were playing house at 6 weeks. Like, that's a little too soon. The second was that you shared a boundary early on that you feel's been crossed. And then the third is on top of this instance, you're having a lot of smaller fights. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, now tell us how you felt after this happened.
Maybe it was just too much time together too fast. It's like you're living together, and that definitely requires some adjusting. And we shortened the honeymoon stage and just jumped straight to the comfortable stage in a matter of weeks.
Right. Like right off the bat, my reaction is I think y'all bit off more than you could chew. It's too soon to ask someone to change for a relationship at 6 weeks. I feel like it's supposed to be like an observation mode.
Really? Even if something bothered you?
Yeah, like I didn't like how my partner would agonize over like what and where we would eat when I was starving and like at that point where I could literally just go anywhere that could hand me a burrito in the next 10 minutes. While he could tell I was upset, we didn't address it as a problem. Then I learned that's how he shows love and care by ensuring we're spending our time and money well. Like early on, I'm just taking in the behavior as data points. So it's not like a problem to be addressed or solved. What are the reflections that you're having since then? Like, are you still unsure about it?
Yeah, I wonder if he's more sure about me than I am about him. He already said I love you, and I haven't said it back because, like, how do you know so early on? It's Feel like 6 weeks just seems so fast.
Yeah, that is pretty fast, and I agree. Maybe y'all are playing house too soon. So, putting the L word aside, I want to back up to the key issues where we've summarized. We just talked about the 6 week mark. I want to ask you about how you felt boundaries were crossed because personally, if I had a boundary that, like, no working when we're together because I want to prioritize quality time, it would only be in a specific context, like we're on a date.
Tell me more.
Like, for example, my man apologizes when he has to respond to a text from his mom or his brother when we're like on a date, but he never answers like a Slack message or opens his email. On the other hand, if we're out with friends, like all bets are off. Like, I'm pretty whatever if he spends 30 minutes or 60 minutes away from the group because he had to pick up a call. And I don't have an issue with it, but also we live together. I have lots of intermittent quality time with him. So, what are your thoughts on the like us time boundary? Do you have any context based flexibility or is this like 100% strict?
I think it makes sense not to respond to work messages or texts when we are spending quality time together. And I understand he sometimes needs to work. So I'm fine doing it if we're both in the same room or if we like both agree to it.
Okay, I get that. I think for me, it's like we can be chilling on the couch while one of us is reading and the other is doing emails for work. But since we live together, we aren't scheduling out this time. It happens like naturally. So, do you think it was ultimately like you guys had a misunderstanding?
Yeah, I think what happened over the weekend was more miscommunication and me feeling like he didn't respect my time because he was spending what was supposed to be our time together working on something that was individual to him.
How would it change if you lived together, do you think?
If we lived together, I feel like it might matter less that he was working while we were hanging out together because, kind of similar to you and your partner, we would have lots of intermittent quality time together at home.
All right, let's keep moving. The third hangup you mentioned was that you're having lots of little fights, like things that you mentioned were silly. What's an example of that?
When I was cleaning the kitchen after breakfast, he wanted to dry off the cast iron pan on the stove. And I was like, why are you doing that? Just let me do it since I'm already cleaning everything else. He's like, well, we should prioritize the pan because it'll rust if too much water sits in it. I'm like, okay, but I will literally get to it in a few minutes. Just like, let me do my thing.
Okay, but were you like already mad?
Yeah, I think I was already upset at him for working earlier, which he didn't realize. So I just didn't even like want to engage or talk to him.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean you didn't want to engage? You just like wanted to be cleaning without talking to him?
Yeah, I was just like, okay. And then I just finished cleaning, drying the pan while he worked. And then after a while, he asked if I was ready to talk.
Oh, okay. Then what happened?
He's like, I don't want you to assume any ill intent. I just wanted to help with the pan. Or in the future, I want to be able to help with stuff without you asking or feeling like I can't because you'll get upset.
What was the tone here?
Just like he was explaining something and saying it as a matter of fact to me.
Okay. And as he's saying this, how are you feeling? Like, how are you reacting?
I couldn't really talk and I just started tearing up.
Wait, that's so hard. When was the last time you cried in front of someone you were dating?
So I did cry with one of my exes when things would get heated during a fight or something, but like honestly, crying is so unlike me.
I know. I feel like you never cry. I've never seen you cry.
Honestly, most people haven't.
So, what happened after you started crying during the fight?
So I got overwhelmed with emotion and I knew my nervous system was not fit to speak. So I just didn't say anything immediately. Like I knew I needed to like calm down first and then speak words second. But he kept saying, like, just tell me what's on your mind. It doesn't have to be the right words. And in my head, I'm like, just give me some time to process, dude.
Yeah, I do agree that it's really early for you to be fighting with your partner. What else did he say?
He's like, we have a bunch of random disagreements because you're very particular about how you want things. Like, you want to shower every night before bed. We don't have any outside clothes on the bed. Organizing his place in a certain way. And he's like, Well, I don't mind adjusting for you, but it does feel like a lot. And sometimes it feels like your way or the highway.
Ugh, okay. Like, do you agree with what he's saying? What are you thinking?
I mean, I know I'm OCD about things, but that's just a part of who I am. Like, I do understand that I need to compromise and not get upset at all the little things for a relationship to work.
But wait, like, has anyone else said you have OCD?
Everyone says I have OCD. Like, I'm one of those people who will line up their board game pieces in a nice little row before I use them to play.
So, like, okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. So, when a guest is over and they load your dishwasher, if you notice that it's not the way you would do it, what do you do? Do you ask them to redo it your way? Do you leave it? Or do you quietly redo it later?
Honestly, I would just tell them to leave it so I can do it later my way. For my partner, I would like them to learn how to do it my way. What would you do?
I leave it. To me, it's done. I might like move a few things around if I can fit more dishes in, but I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm like so grateful if someone else loads the dishwasher, but full transparency, my partner is the one who loads the dishwasher in our household, and I know he has strong opinions, but he would never tell me. I find the dishwasher rearranged all the time, but the only thing he's ever told me is that I need to like rinse the butter knives before putting them in.
Okay, so clearly I need to learn from you and just take a chill pill.
Dude. Okay, but I don't actually think this is about the dishwasher. What are you actually scared of?
I think I'm scared that I'm too much. I worry that all these little things are eventually going to push him away. That's kind of what happened in my last relationship, and I don't want to repeat that.
I actually think that's a really different conversation than like who or like when the pan should be dried. It sounds less like you're worried about the fights themselves and more like you're worried about what the fights mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but with all this happening in your head, you also booked a vacation together, right?
So we did book a trip to Greece together to meet his parents there,
Ooh.
but this was after the fight.
Okay. So you had some reflection time and wow, okay. You've been officially together for 6 weeks. You had this big fight, but this trip was 8 weeks away. And I'm hearing I've just booked a trip further out than I've actually been with this person. Have you heard of this rule? Like, you're not supposed to plan things further out than you've actually been dating?
No.
Okay. Anyways, so how are you actually feeling?
Well, besides the fact that the tickets were hella expensive, I'm cautiously optimistic. I did get a non-refundable ticket because it was cheaper, and he's like, just in case, maybe it's better if you get a refundable one.
Wait, why would he say that?
Yeah, I was like, do you think we're gonna break up before the trip?
Yeah, that's like obviously what he was thinking. What did he say?
He's like, no, just in case anything changes, you won't feel like you wasted like $2,000 on something.
Jesus, did your stomach like drop when he said that?
So my emotional side was triggered, but my logical side was like, that comment makes total sense. It kind of goes back to assuming your partner doesn't have any ill intent, but that's where my mind immediately jumped. I'm usually so logical, but upon reflection, that was like super emotional of me to say.
Yeah, okay, fair. I don't think there was ill intent, but the weekend has passed. Do you still feel like that was the right decision?
Logically, definitely getting the refundable ticket because you never know what happens. Someone gets sick, etc. Like if this was one of my friends, I would definitely be like, "Girl, you want the refundable ticket." But it's okay. I have travel insurance, so I'm not that concerned. Either way, it's too late to change the ticket now. So if we do break up before then, I guess I'm going to enjoy the beautiful beaches in Greece by myself. Maybe have that travel meet cute I keep dreaming about.
Sure. Okay. Okay, now you're going to be at his place tonight. How are you feeling about that?
I definitely feel disconnected from him, and I'm not sure how to get back to the way we were before. Things just kind of feel off. Like I haven't forgiven him, and I want him to like quote unquote fix it.
Well, it takes both of you to create and fix a problem. So, what do you think are your reservations?
I feel like maybe the solution requires me to change, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. The stubbornness in me doesn't want to, but I know that every relationship is about compromise and acceptance. So I just need to think about how much I actually value this relationship and what I am willing to be okay with.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing relationships force you to ask is whether this is something that's part of who you are or just a habit you've never questioned because no one's challenged it before. And like, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You have to know where you're willing to grow and if there's anything that you can let go. Like in our consulting terms, it's what are you going to start, stop, and continue?
Well, it looks like I have a lot of thinking to do. So, for those of you listening, how have you handled a quickly progressing relationship where emotions run hot? And what advice do you have for me? Let us know. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and we'd love to hear from you. You can find us on YouTube and Instagram as The Modern Bay Woman.
Follow us, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, send us an email or a voice memo. Give us all the real feels and thoughts you may have. Bye.